Hi everyone, welcome back to Perception Paradox. My name is Zivile and I'm your host. And today you're up for a treat. Last week I was in Riga attending the conference called TechChill, which is one of the largest Baltic conferences, which gathers investors, founders, innovators, government people as well, all the different stakeholders actually, which help to thrive for the startup scene. And I had a chance to have a conversation with Chris Cunningham from ClickUp, a company that has built one of the most recognizable B2B brands through content. And, we're living right now in a world where everyone is creating content, but very few are actually winning it or stay long enough for the game or taking it seriously. So what stood out in a conversation that we had with Chris, just standing in the hall, people passing and casually diving into his story, that he mentioned a simple fact that most people don't fail at content. They just quit too early. So in this episode, we unpack what it actually takes to win attention in 2026, from consistency to creativity to why AI won't replace real human storytelling. So let's dive in. Real people, real stories, and real challenges that break the status quo. I'm your host, Zivile, and welcome to Perception Paradox. All right. Hello, Chris.
All right.
What's up? How are you
Happy
doing?
to be here. I'm good. I'm 2 days into Latvia. Already got friends. I've already been to karaoke bars. I'm acclimating fast.
I feel like you're about to move or at least open the branch.
Yeah, exactly.
If you haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So, okay, first days in Latvia. So what is your experience about the Baltic scene? Because you managed to meet some Baltic founders.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that it's your first time in the region. You've been to Nordics, but not the Baltics.
Been in Nordics, not the Baltics. I'm loving it. People are very calm, chill,
Yeah.
but I've been meeting some really good founders, so that's
Yeah.
been great. Yesterday I got to mentor a couple founders, a couple companies that I think are doing really good. Just need a little help on marketing, so I was happy to help them with that.
Okay.
I'm having a lot of fun. I got to make sure I can keep up. People can really drink here, so I'm just working on that part. But other than that, I'm good. I speak in a couple hours, so I'm really pumped.
Okay, you look quite fresh. Like, not that you had been out, so that's great.
A lot of water.
Lots of water, hydration. These are, I guess, 3 key takeaways. Nice.
100%.
So, Chris, you mentioned that you were helping already a bit with the marketing, right? With some other companies, and you're a founding partner of ClickUp. And your core strength is actually marketing content and the way you grew the users. So how did this whole marketing and content come into your life? How did you start this journey?
So luckily when we were young, we were always good at social media. So I pulled a prank when I was young that I won the lottery. My friend helped kind of boost likes and retweets on Twitter, and everyone believed that I won the lottery. And all of a sudden we saw the power of social media because I was famous for a couple of days. Everyone thought that I was a lottery winner, had all this money. And from there, we're like, wow, if we can use this power, we can really, make money off of this. So Zeb, who's the real genius of ClickUp, he came in and he was like, yo, I think I can build some ways to help people grow on social media. And the way he did that was he found ways to like, to follow, to comment automatically. And that allowed us to grow on social in ways that other people hadn't seen before. So that was our first agency, and we got really good at social. We helped a lot of famous people grow their social media. And then from there, I wanted to use that as we started ClickUp later. I was like, maybe I can use the powers that we created in this game. And now I am, and it's become my whole forte. Like, people know me as the social media guy in B2B, and people know ClickUp and our brand, and that's why I keep pushing it so hard.
Your brand is very strong. Like, when you look at
millions
the
of followers.
competitors, like, I think people are drawn because of your brand. And I remember I was trying different platforms, and like, yours was like, okay, at least you're something I want to use. Like,
yeah, it makes you stand out. It makes you feel a little more comfortable with the brand and all that.
Hey, that's so cool. And okay, so what year are we talking about when it all started with your experimentation?
It started about 3 years ago. 3 years ago, it started with just me. So I was just doing videos and testing, and I was having some success, but not very much. But then from there, I realized that if I got an actor, if I got someone who really makes content all the time, then we could win. So I went to the board and to the team, and I was like, hey, look, just give me a little bit of budget, and I bet that I can win here. I bet that I can do this. So like everything in marketing, you test first. So I tested, how can we win here? What can work? And so we got a social media, like an actor, a guy named Luke.
Yeah.
And he came in, and the first month, not too much success, maybe a little bit. Second month, we started having a couple of videos at 1 million. And the third month, we had multiple millions of views. So it took some time. Most people give up too early, that's the problem. But then after that, then we knew it was a serious operation. Now I have multiple actors, I have a studio. We treat this like a media company. It's serious. That's the only way you're going to win because everyone's doing social media now. Everyone sees the importance. So it's war. If you really want to win, you got to treat it serious.
And you have to be consistent, right?
You have to be consistent.
Like consistent and non-stop showing up, basically.
Study the data, pay attention, adapt, etc.
How has the landscape changed so far? Because now we have so much AI slop. We have people who are like think that, oh, I'm now a marketeer. I don't need any more like pros expert opinions, and I can do it within the company because of the agent. But we clearly see this big mess with the way content reaches us, the way content is being created. So what would be your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, if you listen to what people are saying online, then you would believe that AI can do all your social media, right? It can do all your content. It's just not the case. I use AI for a lot of things. I use AI to give me morning briefs, to do research, for work, but I don't necessarily use it for our content. It's not a big part of our strategy. I believe in humans. I believe in human writing. I believe in human acting. And right now it still holds true. Like we're getting more views than ever, right? Because I think people are they're swiping right past the AI slop, and they're coming for real content. Like they want to feel real human content from phones, like what we're doing right now. This is what people want. They don't want all this fake stuff. They don't want all this AI stuff.
Sorry, should I get my AI questions?
Yeah, we should. But I don't believe that AI is going to just, in the way everyone thinks. I don't think it's just taking everyone's job in that way. I think it's going to take away the busy work from us, and that's great. But it's not going to take away all the full punch. Someone still needs to run the AI. And think about it. Before the internet, there was none of these jobs that we have today. So there's plenty of jobs to be created from AI.
So talking still about the content and the brand, you have a very strong personal brand, you have a very strong company brand. How do you see this correlation between the personal and company branding? And we still have the stigma that employees, they cannot create their personal brands and it's a risk of a company, which I would disagree. How do you navigate that and where do you see we're heading?
I majorly disagree, so much so that I have a whole process. I run the social media of our CEO, our COO, all of our leaders are posting every day. Because I don't see any problem. Like some people are like, oh, what if they leave? Then they leave, whatever. But still at that time, people still know, hey, they're ex-ClickUp. Like they came from ClickUp, right? So it doesn't matter. I don't care. I want to invest in all my people. We have maybe like 10 or 15 employees who are posting consistently as well, who aren't VPs, but still, have cool jobs, solutions engineers, et cetera. And that's been a big play for us as well. So I highly disagree. I think everyone, as many people as you can at your company can be posting, should be posting. It's free reach, it's free audience, and you can help them with AI. AI is good at writing if you want some help with that. You can give it all your podcasts, you can give it all your LinkedIn posts, put it in a Claude skill, and then Claude can write pretty close, and you still change it to you. But there's no excuse not to be posting on LinkedIn. There really isn't. And for the personal brand, at the beginning I focused more on ClickUp, and I realized, I need to grow mine too. So I'm catching up. ClickUp's brand is bigger than mine, so now I'm catching up by speaking about what I do. All I do is share what I'm working on, and people love that.
Yeah, that's so cool. I think sharing is caring all the time.
Now,
and it's more about trust and not trying to see everyone as enemies or competitors. No. That's what I never get.
I don't do any of that.
Why would you we're all doing our own thing, be nice and create stuff, right?
Yeah.
And whoa, let's wait for a moment.
You're fine.
No worries, guys, chill. It's okay. I'm just trying. So talking about your establishing such a successful company, right? You were bootstrapping at the beginning.
Yes.
You reached to quite some high levels of valuations, like what we spoke, like it was 17 million?
Yeah, we got to around, I think it was 15, 17
mil. 17 mil.
ARR with just bootstrapped. And then we raised, David Sachs as our first investor. He found us early and he did our Series A, and that was 35 million. Then our Series B was 100 million, and Series C was 400 million with A16Z and a couple others. So it's been a good run.
Well done.
Yeah, now we're trying to go public. That's the goal.
That's a great goal.
It's a great goal. To me, it's the biggest one, right? It's the hardest one too.
Yeah. So it's not your first rodeo, right? And first question: how did the investors find you? The first ones, because you said were you looking for investors, or you were more public, or
so it's funny.
How did that happen?
We were looking at the beginning, and then we didn't have much success. They didn't believe in us. They weren't into us. But then later, we started getting our own revenue. Okay, maybe we don't need funding.
So
we were ignoring VCs. We don't care about your money now. We make money.
Yeah.
We don't need you. But then when David came to us, that's someone we really respect. So when he came to us and said, hey, look, I see what you're doing. I like it. But if you want to go fight these giants, you need some money. And I want to be the one to give it to you. So he did. And what an incredible first investor. He still guides us to this day. We did a lot on our own, and it was nice. But it was nice to switch up and actually take some money and really grow fast.
This is great. And we spoke a bit before that it's not your first rodeo. You've done quite some companies before. You had some failures. How did that help you?
Massively. I think people are too afraid to fail, and I'm glad we fail. So yeah, my first job was at a company called Cvent. I became the youngest manager there. Company went public. It was great.
Okay.
After that, I left to go start a company with my college friend as an agency, and we did really well with us. A social media agency where we learned social media. And we did great with that. But then our CEO had a near-death experience, and he was like, I want to do something bigger than this. I don't want to just be an agency. So he decided that we wanted to start a company to fix social media. So with that, we started an app called Memory. And Memory would allow you to take your best memories, match with other people. There were no likes, no
But
followers.
I think I remember that app. Could it be?
That?
Could be, yes.
Yeah, so Memory, we're doing good, but then Snapchat built Snapchat Memories.
Yes.
And so then we lost everything because everyone's already on Snapchat. So it was cool to fight Snapchat and go to war, but we lost that, and we lost the money and everything. But I think that was good. That gave us grit. We learned a lot. It was a fast failure, only 4 or 5 months. So we were able to bounce back quickly, and then we went all in on ClickUp.
Why do you think you lost the fight with Memory? Because what I'm hearing from you, okay, Snapchat was faster just to integrate something what you've been creating. And I'm noticing right now lots of companies that are being established on, let's say, on some kind of different LLM models that they're becoming codependent on them, or they're creating some kind of a feature or solution that can be very easily replicated by the bigger players, right? Why do you think that's happening? How can you then get into this?
It's a great lesson that we learned early. At any time, these very large companies, they can build things fast, right? They have a lot of engineers, they have a lot of, it's no problem for them. So you do need to be careful that you need to build a moat. You need to find something that makes you different. You need to find something that separates you. You need to find something, marketing wise, et cetera. Otherwise you could be in trouble. Like if you just build a feature right now, you could be in trouble because think about it. Users are going to log into things where they already are. Right? AI and things like that. So that's why it's easy for Snapchat to build memories because people are already there. All they do is add our feature and then now they can use it there. They didn't have to go to a whole nother software. So that's why I think that's why they get to be careful. It is a sad lesson that we had to learn. But again, it made us great and we bounced back.
Yeah, that's so cool to see that. And building companies, stressful, lots of risk, sleepless night, working with lots of people and different opinions, especially when you get investors on board, right? So it's kind of lots of I would say politics involved in a way how you make decisions. How do you keep your mental health in place? Do you have some kind of non-negotiables, or what would be your routine?
My routine, in the morning I like to meditate, even if it's just 5 minutes, just clear my brain for a bit, just get everything out. I like to read, I think that helps me a lot, but a big one for me is playing padel. It's a sport, I don't know if it's big here, but it's like...
Oh, it's very big now in the Baltics, and I'm a tennis player, so
nice.
I'm like...
I play almost every day, so that's a good way for me. I work hard, it's a good way for me to just get, release for a bit, not think about work, and just get into a sport. So I think having some type of sport is big. Look, in the early days, I kind of did burn out. I think we all did. We were working 7 days a week. We lived in a house together. But it is important to protect your mental. And I think the key to that is just finding something you can do to take break. Work has to go off your brain sometimes. You can't keep it on there all the time. It's also not good for you. You won't do as good of work if you're always in it. You have to take a step out. Like this weekend, I'll go on the retreat. I'll go to the sauna and I'll chill.
You're gonna enjoy
and I won't work. So I think doing things like making time to do things like that, making time to travel, do things you love. That's the key, and that's what life's about anyway. You should be doing things you love.
So since you're now on a very successful trajectory, and it seems like even with the failures, I observed that you've been on this more like positive mindset of growing things and building companies and being very present here for whatever comes in your life. What do you think are those key characteristics of building big dreams and making it a reality? What do you need to really make sure that you deliver, or some habits to have it in part of your routines?
If you want to make it big, I think the number one thing is you got to be scrappy. Like you have to find a way to do things other people won't do, because otherwise you're not going to stand out. You're not going to make it. So number one, push it to the limit, be scrappy. There's 100 different ways to say it, right? But do more than your competitors will do. Stay up later. At the beginning, that's what you have to do. Research more, think bigger, think harder, move faster. You have to do those things. And another thing is, how you do anything is how you do everything. So I think you have to get in the habit of when you make your bed, do it properly. When you do your work, do it properly. See it through. If you're not seeing it through, you're going to make mistakes. You're not going to be as good. So I think that's one of the main keys to me is make sure you're seeing it through. Make sure you're doing everything tough. And then be creative. I think you have to find a way to look at a space and say, okay, no one's doing this. I'm going to try that. Because otherwise, again, if you just go attack markets and do the same thing everyone else is doing, there's no way you'll win. There's no way you'll stand out.
Yeah. So I have this tradition in all the episodes I do on conversations to leave the listeners with a thought to ponder. Right now we're in Latvia, in Riga, in TechChill, I think the largest gathering in the Baltic states. And
yes.
and everyone is here, dream big, build big, and basically go big or go home.
Yeah.
What would be your this thought to ponder for everyone who are here with us listening to this episode?
My big thought, especially for the Baltics here, is that I think your content market is untapped. I think many people are making content every day. I think they're not trying, they're not testing, they're not taking it serious, right? Like I treat it like Michael Jordan treated basketball. You know, I'm very into it. It's my passion, it's my thing. And if you really want to win, if you want a new way to grow your business, I think you should look at social media. And if you are going into a space, I think you need to have full belief that you're going to win. You have to visualize it, see it, act on it every day, because otherwise there is no shot. Like if you go into like, oh, we'll just be a decent company, then that's the highest you can go, right? But if you go into it dreaming big and chasing crazy dreams, you never know how far you can go. And if you don't achieve there, you might get close. So I think push as hard as you can. Have some fun along the way too. Don't burn out. It's very easy. It's very easy to burn out. Have some fun, because the journey is fun. It really is. Like your beginning journey is very fun. So I think making sure you enjoy the ride. I could have done a better job of that in the early days. I think we have to make money.
Very serious, right?
That I didn't have as much fun as I should have. And I think in hindsight, I wish I'd done a little more, maybe, and made more content early on. So do both.
There we go. Okay, so guys, have fun. Thank you Chris, thank you for finding time. I know that you're busy.
Yeah.
Great to have you here. Thank you everyone who tuned in today. And
Speak on
have
the
a great
stage
day.
soon. Thank you.
Bye. I'll leave the links in the show notes.
Perfect.